YouTubers, Mother's Day is drawing nigh, and it put me in mind of a subject I've been thinking I could do a video about. When I was a kid, I had a real hard time being respectful to my mother. I argued with her, and I deliberately did things to annoy her, and just made myself generally difficult. One time I was in confession in my teens and was explaining this, and the priest recommended that I think of something nice to do for my mother as my penance. And so I was like, oh, well, I had to think of something nice to do for Mom. Well, instead of just thinking of one nice thing to do for her, I concocted this whole plan of something I would institute in the home, which basically only was binding on me to observe, but I invited the rest of the family to observe it as well if they were interested, and I called it Queen Days. So we had Queen Days at least a couple times a month, and I would sort of talk to Mom ahead of time and say, when would be a good day to have a Queen Day? The first one I think was a surprise, but after that I talked to her and I said, you tell me when would be a good day for me to help you with some projects or something. So she would say, oh, well, next Tuesday would be a good Queen Day. So then I made these little printed signs that said the Queen, and I would tape them onto her dining room chair and the chair in the oratory where we did family prayer. And, so just to kind of mark out that it was Queen Day and we were giving her special attention. And then I printed out a rule sheet for our reference to follow in observing Queen Days. And here are a few things that were on the rule sheet. Serve Mommy all day like the queen that she is. Put yourself completely at her disposal. Ask her what it is she would most like to see happen or to accomplish that day, and help her to realize that before you go about your regular tasks or work on personal projects. Ask her to assign to you any duties that she likes. Keep a sharp eye out for untidiness, and make a particular effort to make and keep things shipshape. Relieve the queen of any duties that you can. Consult her about everything, within reason. Follow her suggestions and instructions to the letter without negotiating or contesting. Do not contradict, correct, or interrupt the queen while interacting with her. Generally treat her with as much consideration as possible. Give her all the nicest things and make the day as pleasant for her as you can. For the cook, ask her if she would like to have any particular dish that day and procure it for her. Ask her if she would like to impose any particular law or goal on her subjects that day. This could be long-term or could last only for the duration of the Queen Day. It's up to the queen. Perhaps the king could even come home from work early on these days. And when praying family prayer together, take the opportunity to thank God for our very own king and queen. So those were the rules for Queen Day, and the purpose, as stated on my sheet, was to help remind us to always treat our mother with as much love and respect as possible according to the dignity that is hers, being the sweet queen of our home, and to show our appreciation for how good and patient and wonderful Mommy is, and how much we are grateful that we have got her for our very own. So anyway, a little something to think about. Maybe Mother's Day could be something that happens a little more than once a year instead of one day in May, you do it one day a month or one day every other week. You sort of dedicate a day to being extra available to Mom, whether it's your mom or your wife or, giving her that gift. Every mom appreciates acts of service. It doesn't matter what speaks to you specifically as far as the love language goes, but for a mother, acts of service is always a winner, and you can always use help and just people's buy-in and people being eager to help you to get something done and to support you in doing what you do, even if it's just one day once in a while. But it's an important thing. It's very helpful, and my mother enjoyed it for as long as it lasted. I don't remember how long I did it for, maybe a year or something, before we kind of fell out of the habit. But it really helped me to be more mindful of her and to set aside the things I could have been doing all those days in favor of things she needed to get done or was hoping to. My mom always had a list of projects so long. It was like, well, these are the nice to haves and I may never get to them, but because I was willing to help her and give some time to that, she was able to get some of those things done, and we bonded over them because they were common projects and we could also visit and have fun while we were working on them, and it just made her feel loved and respected, and it was really important. So it helped me break my cycle of poor treatment of my mother too. It helped me to be very mindful of that. So like I said, these rules for me personally, but my family knew about them, and my dad was all for it and participated to the extent that he was able to. Anyway, so it's something you could observe as a family ideal or an individual pursuit anyway. I just thought I would share that, a little personal history and a recommendation as something you could give that's a little more long-lasting of a gift if you're thinking how you could make Mother's Day extra special for her this year. So thank you to all the mothers out there for your generosity and love. May God bless you. Thanks for tuning in.